Well, last night the Texarkana, Arkansas Board of Directors met, and they decided to build a water treatment plant on New Boston Road in Texarkana, Texas. And you may be asking, well, how can that happen, and what are all the details in that? That's the reason why I bring in experts like Mayor Wayne Smith of Texarkana, Arkansas. Good morning, sir, and thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Jeff. I'm certainly glad to be here today.
All right. Well, tell us exactly, kind of give us a synopsis of what has been happening and what led up to last night's vote, and tell me what happened last night.
Well, in this goes back several years that both sides realized that the water treatment plant at New Boston Road is old, it's outdated, it was consistently going down and having needed repairs. So there was an engineering study done to determine what would be the best method to do that. In June of 2010, that study was completed with the recommendation that a new plant that's state of the art that should be built at the New Boston Road plant site using some existing lines, using the holding tanks and some other areas, and that this could be done for approximately $25 million.
Which is a lot lower than what some of us have heard, because some of us have been hearing somewhere around $50 million, and I've heard one estimate as high as $70 million.
There are River Bend, and would like to have one, at least two or three Texas officials would like to have it built out by Ameritex, the Red River Redevelopment Authority area, and that's the one where you're hearing anywhere from $55 million to $75 million.
I see.
But since June of 2010, that has been sat on. That recommendation has been sat on, and as we progressed along during this water issue and trying to resolve some concerns, I certainly became concerned that we're going to sit here and this plant at New Boston Road is going to one day is going to quit working.
Sure.
And so I felt that we need to do something. It's going to take us, if we start today, right today, this process, then it's going to take us 2.5 to 3 years before we get a plant.
Oh, my. Okay.
So instead of waiting for Texarkana, Texas to, I'm going to say, cram down our throats a water treatment plant at the Red River Army redevelopment area that we don't have any input into, I decided to do the logical thing is to go ahead and proceed forward with let's start doing something about replacing that plant out at New Boston Road. Last night, what we did is I asked and had them to present a resolution that authorized the city manager to enter into a contract to develop a design for a new plant. Once the design is complete, then we can determine what it's going to cost, and then we determine what is going to be the method for paying it. And there's several options on that, but at some point in time, we're going to have to figure out that we're probably going to have to have a bond to pay for the plant, and then we determine who all wants to participate in that.
Sure. Now, do you have to have Texarkana, Texas? Do you have to have their participation in building this thing, since TW is owned basically by both entities?
If the plant is going to be built pertaining to for water, to treat water coming out of Lake Texarkana, then yes, Texarkana, Texas has to approve that, and that's the next step. And it's now in their ballpark, and that's what we want to do. We put it in their ballpark. We will try, and I say attempt because Texarkana, Texas can refuse or decline to put it on their agenda for consideration, even allow their board members to vote to proceed with the same resolution similar to the one we did. But it's in their ballpark, and I want the citizens of Texarkana, Arkansas, and even Texarkana, Texas to know that the board of directors for Texarkana, Arkansas is dedicated not to trying to acquire power or whatever it is that those at River Bend want. We're wanting to make sure that all citizens in the area has adequate water at a reasonable price, and that's what we're going to do, and that's what I'm dedicated to do. Certainly my primary responsibility is going to be to the Texarkana, Arkansas residents. I'm going to make sure.
Sure.
And I know that there was discussions about, does this mean that we're going to split? No, not unless Texarkana, Texas breaches the contract. We're not going to split. But as the mayor of Texarkana, Arkansas, I have to make sure that I look to the future.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot wait for Riverbend or Texarkana, Texas officials to do the right thing. So I have to anticipate what is the worst case scenario. And the worst case scenario is that there is no treatment plant built within the near future, and I have to make sure that the residents of Texarkana, Arkansas have water at a reasonable price. And that's what I'm proceeding for, and that means that I am looking, I don't make it a secret, I am looking for avenues to see what it would cost us to ensure that if Millwood plant is going to be the only one providing water, then that water is going to be provided only to the Texarkana, Arkansas residents in Miller County. And as long as Texarkana, Texas does not breach their contract, we will continue to provide adequate water from Millwood to the Texarkana, Texas residents to supplement the water coming from Lake Wright Patman. So, I don't know what's going to go on, but we're not going to sit idly by.
What happens if Texarkana, Texas does not go along with this proposal now to build a new treatment plant on New Boston Road?
Then at that point in time, we're going to sit down and evaluate what our options are. And I don't know what those options are because we're not going to do a knee-jerk reaction.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get input from several people, including Mr. King, our attorney, to look to see what avenues are available for us with the ultimate goal that the citizens of Texarkana, Arkansas will have adequate water and they will have water at a reasonable price, and that the Texarkana, Arkansas officials that they elect, not somebody that's appointed by who knows who, but the officials that Texarkana, Arkansas residents elect, they are involved in the price structure of water, and that we're held accountable. We should be, if water prices jump, then you know what? It should be that myself as the mayor and the board of directors, it's our responsibility. We need to be held accountable, and we need to be able to say, you know what? We made that decision, and this is why we made it. Right now, with the way it's headed, if Riverbend gets to operate that treatment plant, Texarkana, Arkansas residents or its elected officials won't have any input into that.
Yeah, and you guys will be treated as a non-member city, correct?
That we will be treated as a non-member, period.
Yeah, interesting.
So, yeah.
Now, what is, at this point now, what is the next step for you guys? What's the next step for Texarkana, Arkansas?
We're going to, we've asked Bill King to try to get the same resolution or a similar resolution in front of the Texarkana, Texas City Council, and allow them to, whatever process they use, to pass a resolution or reject the resolution. It's going to be up to them. I would hope they were going to pass the resolution, and let's move forward and let's work together, and let's get this plant built. Because if we don't get it built, just like the last 6 weeks, we've been solely dependent upon Millwood water, but that's what the agreement kind of allowed us to do. But with we can't sit on our thumbs and say, well, we hope that somebody's going to give us a water treatment plant, or somebody's it's going to just drop out of the sky and it's going to be there and it's ready to operate. Very quickly, what would be a breach of contract? What would be the conditions under which the contract would be breached? The one area is that if Texarkana, Texas, goes into an agreement or does anything that involves Riverbend operating any water treatment plant, in my opinion, that is a breach of contract, because right now the agreement is that TWU is co-owned, co-managed by Texarkana, Arkansas, and Texarkana, Texas, to provide the water, the billing, accounting, all the services that every day when you get up, you turn on your faucet, and that water comes out. TWU's, we take that for granted, but you know what? It's not for granted. TWU does that on the behalf and at the bequest of Texarkana, Arkansas, and Texarkana, Texas. Sure. And and I think they have done an outstanding job. It's amazing that they have provided us water. Taking care of the treatment, taking care of managing the lines, making sure that we've got adequate water. Even making a decision when we have bad tasting water to take care of that. TWU stepped up and did the right thing.
Excellent.
Even though Bill King got chastised for doing the right thing because he didn't get written permission from
Mr. Sullivan.
Mr. Sullivan.
Wow. Mayor Smith, thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
This is the voice of freedom on Freedom 107, conservative talk radio for the Arklatex.